Most of you have probably been spending all your time playing the new Zelda or Horizon. Some of you may have gotten Yooka-Laylee. Me, I've been obsessing over a game that deserves a lot more recognition than it's getting. Hollow Knight. Oh man, I am finally ready to talk about this game, and it is a doozy. And by doozy, I mean it's fucking fantastic. Like, instant classic fantastic. It's taken me longer to get the review out than I wanted because the game is so dense, and I wanted to play all of it so that I could give you a good, detailed review. At the time of this review, I'm not quite 100% done with the game yet, but I'm close, and I'm over 40 hours into it, so I have a pretty developed opinion of the game and wanted to get into it. Hollow Knight is a 2D side-scrolling platformer Metroidvania-style game. It was developed by Team Cherry, an Australian indie game company consisting of 3 people. That's an incredibly impressive feat, especially for a game this good. Hollow Knight originated on Kickstarter, where most indie games seem to come from these days. It had a goal of $35,000 and made a little over $57,000, which is pretty damn good. Hollow Knight is a buggy game, and by that I mean all the characters are bugs. You're a bug. You play as a lone wandering sword bug roaming around the Hollow Nest, a somber and desolate world of bugdom. The story isn't really told direct, but rather you learn about the world and what the overarching story is from dialogue with characters and through interactions with tomes you find around the map. At its simplest, an infection has spread through the nest and is turning its inhabitants into mindless husks, simply roaming around underground waiting to die. In all honesty, the storytelling is a little cryptic and very lore-driven and open to a lot of interpretation. So, if deep and involved story is your thing, this may be a little off-putting to you. It's there, but you have to dig for it, quite literally at times. The main quest is for players to find and destroy 3 dreamers, which will unlock a black egg, allowing you to fight the Hollow Knight. It took me 32 hours to do that, but I finished it with 15 bosses remaining and only about 75% of the game completed. This is a huge game. There are around 30 bosses, 27 exactly I believe, each varying in difficulty. Most of these are completely optional, which is crazy. Gameplay-wise, it's your typical Metroidvania. You're given a huge 2D map to explore, acquiring items along the way that help you explore new locations, and there's a heavy reliance on backtracking and exploration. Your primary weapon is a sword, called a nail, which you can upgrade and learn new techniques to use. You can even slash down to bounce off spikes or enemies. You also possess Soul, an essence residing in all of the bugs in Hollow Nest. Soul is essentially your mana. When attacking foes, the amount of soul you are carrying increases. Soul also allows you to heal and cast spells. That said, you are really only offered a few spells and skills in the game, 3 which use soul, and the rest help you maneuver the environment, things like a double jump or a dash. There are items to buy, using a currency called Geo. These items include shards that increase your soul or health, or charms that give you buffs when equipped. You can only equip a certain amount at a time, however, depending on how many charm notches you have unlocked. These charms include anything from more health to increased attack speed or attack range to espousing mushroom spores when you are charging soul or even releasing mini swordsmen to defend you. When first starting the game, there's definitely a feeling of what the fuck do I do? You don't know where to go, you don't know what's going on, and you don't know what to do. And the game doesn't tell you, and I love it. The game does not hold your hand. It doesn't sit there and tell you where you need to go. There's nothing telling you that you should avoid cliffs. It just lets you play the game and figure things out for yourself, and it's great. And the game doesn't mess around either. It's hard as hell. I haven't been as frustrated playing a game in a long time, and I love difficult games. People compare it to the likes of the Souls games. It can be so punishing at times. When I'm playing it, I tend to say Hollow Knight is more difficult than Demon Souls is. In fact, there are quite a few similarities with the Souls games. You lose your soul and Geo when you die, like how you lose your souls when dying in the Souls games. Benches in Hollow Knight act as rest stops, save points, and respawn triggers, like the bonfires in the Souls games. When you die, you leave behind a shade. You need to go and find and kill your shade to get your Geo back and repair your soul container, as the amount of soul you are carrying is halved upon dying. This is similar to the bloodstains and decrease in health you receive upon dying in the Souls games. And there's an overall melancholic feeling in both of the games as well. But in all actuality, Hollow Knight is probably on par difficulty-wise with the Souls games. It's just different. The Souls games tend to get you with the bullshit traps and difficult bosses. Hollow Knight has the difficult bosses, but I never thought the game was unfairly setting me up to die in a trap. In fact, most normal enemies typically aren't that imposing. The difficulty came in from the crazy boss fights and tough platforming. I mean, look at the White Palace. Whoever designed this part was a masochist. Seriously, I got incredibly frustrated playing this game. 3 parts in particular. The White Palace, like I mentioned, Then there was this Coliseum, which is ridiculously hard, especially the third trial. And the part that pissed me off the most was a side quest. For this quest, you need to bring a fragile flower given to you from a bug in mourning, and she instructs you to bring the flower to a grave and leave it there. The catch is, while you are holding it, you cannot take any damage, so each time you are hit, you need to go back and get the flower, and the place to deliver it is all the way on the other side of the map. It takes forever. So the strategy is to clear the area first, since enemies only respawn when you save at the bench, so you clear out all the enemies along the path, and go get the flower, only to hit a spike or something trying to platform, and have to go back and get the stupid fucking flower all over again. It's enough to drive someone insane. There's an emphasis on evasion and defensively going through every boss battle. Being overly aggressive will most likely get you killed. Go slow, figure out a boss's patterns, learn how to judge his attacks, and then pick away at his health or heal yourself when there is an opening. Just going and swinging will result in a lot of pain. Still, the difficulty is worth it when you're overcoming an obstacle, and sometimes you really get into a groove and you start playing really well, and it's really fun, even if it is challenging. There are multiple endings to the game, a bad ending, a good ending, a ending kind of in the middle, and a joke ending, all which are executed by performing certain tasks at the end of the game. It is possible to get all 4 endings on a single save. Now to talk about what I think is the absolute best part of the game though, the presentation. Oh my god, the graphics are beautiful. Like, it's one of the best looking games that I have ever seen. Definitely the best looking game I've seen in a very long time. The hand-drawn graphics are simply phenomenal. Characters and environments are detailed, cutscenes, while scarce, are fun to watch. I love the animation. A good example of that is the stag beetle, who basically acts as a taxi, allowing you to get around the nest quicker. Look how badass he is. And the world is beautiful and varied. The world and NPCs are all full of character and life. Each environment feels truly different from the other, yet still interconnected to the world as a whole. It's amazing. There's a somber and melancholy tone throughout the whole game that just makes the game feel unique. You feel like you're exploring a dying, decaying world where its inhabitants are desperate and depressed, or have already been consumed by the infection and roam mindlessly in the abyss. Here are some of my favorite in-game environments. In addition to the nests, there is a dream world where you kill the 3 dreamers as well as can fight optional bosses. And collect Dream Essence, which are used to improve the power of the Dream Nail, a nail which is used to interact with insects' minds. The game does a great job of conveying atmosphere, whether it be the uncertainty of the infection, which you can see spreading as you play the game, or the simple glimmers of hope you generate as you help the cast of NPCs. The game can get pretty creepy when you travel further down and you start hearing crazy noises of the deep nest where spiders and maggots reside. And Christopher Larkin's soundtrack is incredible as well. It's tranquil and peaceful during exploration or in towns, but can become epic or tribal during battles. It's pleasant to listen to and really complements the experience as a whole. I love it so much I bought the soundtrack, so give it a listen even while you're not playing the game. The characters in the game are all unique and fun as well. They all have personality, and it really makes you feel like you're playing a game in a living world, with characters being affected by what's going on in the game. Some become good allies, others become enemies. For example, there's a bank early on in the game where you can store Geo there so that when you die, you don't lose all your money. About halfway through the game, however, the bank disappears and you realize the teller ran off with all your money. But then you find that dirty bitch in a bathhouse, so you kick the shit out of her and get your money back. The enemies are all varied and interesting as well. I love the different enemy types and the different fighting styles they have to offer. It's really cool to go from fighting trained warriors like the mantis in the forest to mindless maggots in the deep nest. The game isn't perfect though. I ran into two pretty serious bugs. One happened while I was attacking while looking at my journal. It froze on the journal screen and I was unable to quit the game, so I force quit and came back and all my Geo had disappeared. The second bug occurred when I opened a wall in the hive area of the game. I suddenly got sucked to the left of the screen and could not move. Luckily, I was able to quit out and re-enter the game and it worked as normal, but it was weird. Additionally, the game suffers from some bad lag and frame drop issues at times, especially when there's a lot going on the screen at once. The game is still playable, but it does make some platforming or combat segments difficult. Still, for a game made by 3 people, it's relatively bug-free and runs smoothly. There's a lot I'm leaving out, but I don't want to give too much of the experience away. Bottom line, buy this game. It's already a contender for Game of the Year for me. It sucked me right in and I'm a huge fan already. One of the best games I have played, period. It's fun, it's gorgeous, it has unique style, great characters, great environment, loads to explore, between 30 and 50 hours of gameplay. It's challenging and hard as hell and has a fantastic soundtrack. It's worth getting. It's currently out for PC, but will be coming out on the Switch shortly. Additionally, since it was a Kickstarter, there will be some funded DLC coming out for it as well, including campaigns where you play as the other characters in the game, so I will definitely be keeping an eye out for those. If you're a fan of the atmosphere of a game like Limbo, and are looking forward to the hand-drawn cartoony nature of Cuphead that's coming out later this year, definitely give this game a look. Please like and subscribe, leave a comment in the comment section below, and share this video with your friends. Until next time, everyone.